Hello, I'm Worthy, and I'm in the Polish mountains with my family. That right there, I know it's hard to see because of my camera quality, but that is a huge-ass cross on top of this little hill called Giewont. I don't know whose idea it was to put a cross that attracts lightning on top of this mountain, but it's cool. Ever since I found out about this cross, and by the way that was like when I was 10 or something, I wanted to touch it. And I don't care what happens, I'm going to touch it within the next 3 days that I'm there.
z chatkami góralskimi i tak dalej. I stąd można na Gęsią Szyję sobie wejście.
So, on the first day, we decided to go and see the Eye of the Sea, or in Polish, Morskie Oko, which is this big lake really high up the mountains. And there are two reasons why we decided to go there. Number one, because no one cares about anything else in those mountains except for that goddamn lake. Like if I told my friends that I was in the Polish mountains and I didn't see the Eye of the Sea, they'd laugh at me. So it was absolutely mandatory for us to see that. And the second reason is because they had to close the whole trail for the next few days, so we wouldn't be able to get there, so basically we either saw it now or never. And would you look at that? A deer. Perhaps she knew she'd find me here. It was a long 14-kilometer walk that took us around 3 hours. In the meantime, we saw some horses, some more horses, and a lot of beautiful views. We found this little shortcut, but we decided to take it when we were going back. The further up we went, the less trees there were, so we could see more of what's around us. Eventually, we made it to this place, which I honestly thought was the end of our journey, but it was just like a little place where you could relax and, well, we still had like an hour left to go.
Ładne górki, więcej górek.
And we finally made it.
Co?
I'm gonna talk over this footage because there were people behind me talking about fingering themselves, which I only realized while editing. Anyway, I know that the view doesn't seem that great, but trust me, it looks so much more beautiful in person rather than seeing it through a camera. Okay, I have to mention this, but which genius thought it would be a good idea to put these very steep and dangerous steps over here that the tired people who just walked 14 kilometers would have to go down to see the lake closer? I almost tripped on them a few times, like seriously man, fix that. That building up there is a restaurant that makes absolutely delicious 10 out of 10 pancakes. Please check it out if you can. Anyway, we spent like 30 minutes there and then we started heading back, which didn't really take us that long. But in the meantime, we found some more beautiful deers, like this Chad right here that got so close to us.
Piękny jest, no. A jakie mucho było obsiadło na
And at the end of our trip, we once again saw my love interest, waiting for me. Goodbye, my dear. Another day, another beautiful morning in the Polish mountains. Is it just me or does this corridor give you the Shining kind of vibes? Cause when those two kids came around, I surely got the spooks. Anyway, this day we decided to go and see some cave systems. And so, our journey begins. We came across a little building where they made goat cheese, and beside it were, of course, some goats. It was really hot that day, so they just chilled in the shadow. That's why there's so many of them there. Later on, we found even more of them. However, there was one odd one out. After like 30 minutes of walking, we saw the sign that led us to the first cave. But first, stairs! Everyone's favorite. These were pretty steep and it was quite tiring getting up there, but it was doable. After all that, we made it to the entrance of the Frosty Cave, or in Polish, Jaskinia Mroźna. And as the name suggests, it was very cold in there. We had to put on our jackets even though it was like 30 degrees Celsius. The rocks that we were walking on were very slippy, so we had to be careful about that. The cave was very cool though. Like, we had to go down steps, there were moments where you had to walk a bit tilted over to one side, and then there were also moments where you had to crawl. Eventually I got the lead on the group, so now I can show you the cave without anyone in front of me. And we got out. Since the cave was so high up in the mountain, we had to go down some more stairs. Yay. They weren't that long, however my parents decided to do a whole ass photo shoot on each and every step, and I am not exaggerating. That much. We spent so much time heading down these stairs, man, it's insane. After resting at the river for a while, we went to our next cave, which was called... I actually don't know. I couldn't find any English translation for this cave, so I translated it myself. So let's call it the Wrong Cave, or in Polish, Jaskinia Mylna. So we walked a little bit inside of the cave. However, my parents thought it's quite dangerous for us to go there, so we ended up getting out and we started discussing it. I really wanted to go inside. It seemed so awesome to go through a cave where there were no lights except for our own flashlight. But my parents were pretty reluctant about that. But then, this random ass couple with their 6-year-old daughter came around and all of a sudden my parents wanted to go. Which is just stupid because they're okay with going to a cave with a stranger, but they're not okay going with their teenage kids. Like, what? I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter that much. All that matters is that we ended up going to the cave. While we were crawling through it, I realized that we were going the wrong direction. And since I was the closest to the real direction we were supposed to go, I got to go first. Which meant that I was the leader of our whole group. I don't think I ever felt more like an alpha male Chad in my life. Also, that meant that I wouldn't have to record someone's butt in front of me, so that's awesome. I didn't record much, because it was kinda hard to crawl, see where I'm going, keeping the flashlight on my head and record at the same time. So I didn't get much footage, but it's okay. And we finally got out. After that, we just had to go down some more stairs. Yeah! We got back to the hotel and we decided that tomorrow we will go and climb Giewont. However, I realized that we won't climb Giewont. Because it was raining and everything was slippy. So was this it? Was my dream of touching the cross on top of the mountain shattered? Of course not, we didn't care about some measly rain. We are climbing Givant, and so our journey begins for the final time. I'm not really providing much commentary here, cause there really isn't much to talk about. It's just trees, grass, and the mountains. So basically everything we've already seen. There was, however, this thick layer of fog above us because of the rain, which meant we didn't even know where Givant was because the fog was covering up the cross. This was honestly a very hard climb. I don't think I was this tired in ages. And it just went on forever. The cross was still nowhere to be seen, the fog was covering it up, and there was nothing we could do about it.
Nie, po językom poszło pieczem język. Nie powiedziałeś, że już to darmo. Ale dziękuję.
Marce, chcesz?
We kept on climbing without seeing our destination for hours. We were demotivated. But then we saw people very far away, and we knew that we were close. Finally, we reached some signs, and that gave us new hope. We kept on climbing, and then, out of the fog it emerged, the cross. We were once again motivated. Our destiny was right there. This was truly an amazing journey. And as it seems, dreams do come true.